stage, like,
we're going to cut straight into the hand warmers.
Yeah,
that's what we're getting straight into.
Something like that. Yeah, it's they're probably not going to start on Smash Bros. Because the characters are select. For those, we didn't announce it, that's going to be Scatt versus Static Manny right there, or Heero.
And I love this matchup, because, specifically because of the duality behind it, right? You have one character whose entire purpose is to get in, while the other character is just really trying to keep them out. Scatt playing a character like Mega Man, it's all about trying to get the distance in between, while Heero is going to be trying his best to close the distance using Sonic's quick speed. And here we go, straight into game one. This is the first game here on this big stage for Smash 4. Take it away, Pierce.
Yeah, so I'm definitely interested to see the tools Mega Man is going to bring to the stage. I mean, we all know Mega Man does, but Scatt is going to show me what he really can do, because this is not a character you see every day in tournament, let alone in the top 12. I mean, you don't even see a lot of Mega Mans in the earlier stages of bracket. Very, what's the word I'm looking for? People were excited to see this character. Very acclaimed character that many people wanted to see into the game, and then everybody just dropped them saying he was trash, he was garbage, but Scatt's here to show us something a little bit different.
I mean, he's keeping it relatively close. The back air, however, from Heero is not doing him any favors. And you can kind of see, it's interesting from Scatt because he's not playing like most Mega Men that I see play, right? Most Mega Men kind of retreat towards the corner and then put on the pressure from there. But Scatt recognizes that he really needs to take control of the stage, especially given how strong that back air from Sonic is. If he's near the edge and gets clipped by one of those, it could be curtains for him very early.
Yeah, and right now, Scatt is doing an excellent job at gaining back the center stage. Unfortunately, he got a little bit too close with that fair, but it's not going to be too much of a follow-up. He definitely did not mean to land on that spring there because it put him in a really bad position. He has no jump out that forward tilt. Is Rush going to be enough? Not quite. Manny takes the first stock.
That stock was done the minute that Scatt decided that he was not going to sweet spot that ledge, and it's certainly costing him. Heero at only 55% means that Scatt is going to have quite the uphill battle, but playing a character like Mega Man, he's got plenty of those tools to go ahead and put that damage on from afar. It's a matter of whether or not he's going to be changing up his playstyle in order to maybe make it so that he can put on some more safe pressure and safe damage.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing you have to remember is all of these matches today are a best of 5, so both players are going to have plenty of time to advance, even though Scatt's not off to the greatest of start, and it looks like Manny's running all over him for the minute. He's going to have a lot of time to adjust, adapt, and really find out what he needs to do in the matchup to really take it back to Manny. Nice pressure coming out there with the forward air brigade getting right up in his face with Mega Man, showing that he's not afraid to get up close and personal, despite the fact that he has a projectile-based character.
I love it. Scatt showing that he's just so fearless. I love the recovery there as well. Instead of trying to wait till he's drifting closer to the stage, he recognized that moving platform was right in the perfect spot, and maybe a chance for Scatt takes him right off the top with that surprise up air. Beautiful play, but he's still at 89%.
Counter anti-air, but right now, Scatt's looking like he's running away with this momentum, constantly getting himself out of Sonic's up airs too. He has yet to get caught by that up air trap. You know, despite the fact that Manny's been very patient, waits for all the air dots, Scatt's just got a good timing on it. It's giving Manny a hard time.
Oh man, and that timing, it's going to be so important. He's also good. Something you touched on was that because this is best of 5, there's going to be a lot of downloading that is needed and adaptation that is required from both of these players. And I think in particular that spin dash is something that we need to think of. The fact that you can act out of it in so many different ways means that both of these players are trying to really condition each other to feel one way or another the minute that they see that charge starting up.
Now, one thing that I noticed is also really, really unique about Scatt's gameplay is that he's so unafraid to just walk forward with the gun. You know, normally when you think of a projectile zoning tool, you think of people just, you know, walking backwards as they throw projectiles or jumping backwards, throwing projectiles, something like that. But Mega Man's just like, I walk forward and I shoot. That's what I do in my game. That's what I'm doing here. And he's not afraid to say, okay, you can't use spin dash against me because, you know, you're going to have to go through these pellets. And he's approaching with the pressure of the projectile while simultaneously threatening grab over and over again. So his playstyle is very, very interesting the way he's dealing with the Sonic matchup.
Exactly, and once again, it all comes back to that battle for center stage. Recognizing that Sonic really prevails whenever he has you cornered and can get you with one of those back airs, he wants to stay at the center. All of Scatt's KOs so far have been off of the top, and with that in mind, the center is perfectly okay for a place for him to stay. He doesn't want to risk maybe being towards the ledge. If he was maybe towards the edge, that would have had a higher chance of actually KOing right there.
Yeah, and I also think it's very, very interesting the way how you don't see Sonic just going up in the air for grabs anymore, but right now we've got a very, very close position. Scatt has done everything he needed to do to catch back up in the percent. He's only down by 41%, and they're both in kill percentage. So right now, both players vying for the center of the stage and looking for a grab to potentially set up or deliver a KO.
Oh my god, that grab was incredible. Gotta love it from Heero. The last second, that quick cross-up grab was exactly what he needed to do to make it so he could set up for that beautiful back air and take that final stock in game 1.
Yeah, definitely. A wonderful cross-up, and that's exactly what you want to see against a projectile strategy. Manny using his speed, getting behind it. He's recognizing, okay, he's going to flinch a little bit because he knows he can die at any random moment. The minute that those charge cannon shots slowed down, or rather just the regular X-Buster shots slowed down, he was like, I'm getting in there, gets behind him, gets the back throw, and takes his stock.
They're just lemons, Pierce. They're just lemons. Game number 2 between Scatt and Heero. Let's get right into it.
Now, I really think it's interesting how selective Scatt is at using the moveset, because a lot of people, you know, I've seen a lot of different styles of Mega Man before. You do see a couple of players in the beginning of the game using him, like Seabrick or Zuko. So there have been Mega Mans before, not too many that we see in tournament now, and definitely, again, not on the big stage. But his style is very, very different than theirs. It's a very Buster-oriented. You know, I've never seen a Mega Man with a game style that's this Buster-oriented. Usually it's a very trap style, and they like to rely on the aerials, which are incredibly strong. You know, you have the flame sword forward air and the back air, both of which have kill pressure, especially that back air. And, you know, setting up somewhat of a zoning style. We do see a zoning style here, but it's quite different.
Oh, man. And we have to, thinking back on that last match, I got to give props to Scatt. Even though he lost that first stock really early, he did a great job of bringing it back. And already this game, I feel, is so much closer than the last one. 3% between both of these players. Sonic really, what I feel, is one of those sort of hit-and-run type styles of characters, right? Especially when it comes to racking up the percents. He wants to get in, tack out a little bit of damage, get out. But I think at these higher percents, I would... Ooh! Forget the analysis.
What's crazy is that it almost looks like he got hit by that on purpose, right? Because he had to know Sonic was going to throw the Metal Blade down there, right? And he could have just waited and then tried to move a little bit more to the right, or simply upbeat a little bit earlier, or, you know, any number of mix-ups. But it almost looked like he got hit by it on purpose, in fact. I'm not quite sure if he did, but that's what it looks like to me.
Oh, we'll see. Definitely got to go ahead and ask Scatt as soon as this game is done. Getting right back into the match. Heero has him backed up into the corner here, but that Crash Bomber sticking right on the chest of Sonic is going to prevent too much aggression. And now the tables have kind of turned. As you see, Scatt's done a great job of so far pinning Heero, has him trapped on that platform. Let's see how he's going to maneuver around.
Yeah, and another thing that I noticed that I really like about Scatt is that he is one of the few, maybe the only player who does not have a dash-oriented playstyle. The metagame that Zero and Nairo have set is a metagame of you dash in and you dash out, and you basically feint a whole bunch of times until eventually you feel comfortable going in. You don't wait too long because you want to make sure you keep pressure up on the opponent, and then you mix up blocking, rolling, grabbing, and other subtle pressure options so that you can set up a basic combo string. That's really the metagame that they've set, and that's the metagame that prevails very well for most speed-oriented characters like Sheik or Zero Suit Samus and characters of this nature, Diddy Kong, even a little bit of Pikachu. That's also how Pikachu works, even though he has a quick attack. But with Mega Man, he's showing us an entirely different way to play the game. It's a little unique. You know, you can see Manny is using the fundamentals of that metagame strategy because he's playing Sonic. Again, another speed character. But you're not seeing that from Mega Man.
Man, and you weren't seeing that up air connecting either. Scatt with a well-timed air dodge is able to evade that really scary situation. Back into center stage, Scatt at 145% knows that he really needs to keep Manny out, has the Crash Bomber on him, trying to get the grab, but instead, he ends up getting grabbed himself. There's the grab that we were looking for before, throwing the Saw Blade up.
Yeah, and now Sonic's trapped here on the edge. Mega Man wants to really take an advantage of this, but he's not able to find a solid hit. And Manny's got himself on the inside, not going to find a grab from it. A mistech will have him sliding into the edge. And Manny's just taking his time, really trying not to overcommit into too much extra damage. But he needs to find this kill sooner rather than later. But first of all, if you take a look at the clock, okay, it's 2 minutes and 43 seconds. Now, Manny has been a player in the past renowned for going to timeouts. He hasn't really gone for too many timeouts. Changed up to a much more aggressive pressure play style. Finally finds that back air.
And that's the thing about Sonic. I feel like as a character, Sonic is excellent for getting those pot shots in here and there, but when it comes to actually KOing, especially with the nerfs on the back throw, it can be really difficult from time to time. Scatt, on the other hand, making the most of the tools that he has, really piling on that percentage slowly and steadily, and then using strong options. I like the usage of the bear that we're seeing. That little disjoint, I think, is perfect with dealing with Sonic. Anytime that he's trying to come back onto the stage, almost got the hard knuckle, but that was some nice, a slight delay here from Heero to prevent that attack from colliding.
And I also think it's very interesting, again, just to go back to the clock dynamic, right? You have a character with a walk-based playstyle like Scatt's Mega Man, and then you have a character like Sonic, who obviously dashes around and uses speed to get approaches. Oh my god, what a
wow, I love that. He pressured the edge so perfectly, putting out the lemons, basically forcing out the jump, and the second that he saw it go ahead, he went up, popped a jump of his own, caught him with the back air and contested once again so perfectly. We've seen that back air from Mega Man a couple times now, actually being used very nicely at the edge anytime that Static Man is trying to get back onto the stage. I'm curious to see how Heero is going to be able to adapt to this.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because he uses a slower, more less tempo-based playstyle and more of a control playstyle. It's really interesting because that back air caught me off guard, right? Like, even not under the pressure of actually playing the match, I didn't see that coming at all. You know, as I just mentioned earlier, back air is one of Mega Man's strongest moves. So normally, you know, as a player, you're going to be looking out for KO options like that. But because Scatt just always takes his time and just flows into all his actions smoothly without rushing or forcing anything, you know, he always seems like he's calm and under control. So that back air just, it came out. It was just a solid read, and he's like, oh, I do have this back air in my arsenal.
You know, I expected Scatt to really play more of a turtle style, I suppose, than anything else. But he's showcasing that he's not afraid to use the projectiles actually to play kind of up close and make it so that Heero can't even get that run started. He can't even get that spin dash started at all. And that might also deal with the fact that the lemons essentially don't carry full screen, right? Look at them right now, right? They don't traverse the entire segment of the screen. They cover almost like a mid to high mid sort of distance. And Scatt's doing a really good job of playing around in that distance, making it so that it's really tough for Heero to even start up that spin dash and really putting on a lot of punishment because of it.
Yeah, it's very, very new to see a zoning character doing very successfully against a speed character in this game. Mainly the mechanics of Smash 4, most of the top players have decided do favor the speed style, but Scatt's showing us that there's other ways to play. Definitely love the way he's controlling Manny right now. Manny just trying to find an opening. I mean, I feel like he's just been trying to find openings the entire set, but he's at a little bit of a loss to do. How do you use spin dash against that style of projectile? I just can't find a way.
I'm not sure either. It reminds me a lot of, if we're looking at Melee players, Leffen and Armada, I think, do a really good job with their laser control, right? They do a good job of maintaining center stage while still putting on the percentage, but still being at that place where it's really ambiguous as to whether or not it's safe to go ahead and approach. And I think that that's what Scatt's really been establishing. But I want to see the adaptation from Heero. So far, I think the fact that Scatt's done a decent job of dealing with the spin dash has kind of put a kink. As you can see right now, he's giving up a lot of stage control, trying to get it set up, but Scatt is right there, ready with the punishes. Nearly clips him with the saw blade, going ahead with that string of up air, sending the leaf out as well. But Heero still able to evade most of the barrage. So the crash bomber lands, and really smart of Heero. I think he dropped the shield in time because he didn't want to afford getting shield broken. Right there, that would have been the perfect chance for Scatt to go ahead and drop that up tilt. So devastating, like we touched on at the beginning of this match, but really good awareness from Heero to avoid that option entirely.
And it's absolutely terrifying when you see a player in control like this who's still willing to use his safe pressure gameplay and then make hard reads out of that. You know, that's exactly the type of thing you don't want to see as Sonic right now, because it's like, okay, you know, I'm going to go in, I'm trying to get through this wall, but all of a sudden he's going to make a prediction on one of my options, and that could just be the end of my stock or a massive damage string coming out right now. Scatt is really in a phenomenal position, blocking a little bit here, and now, excellent. Heero was able to see that he was blocking. The moment he saw that he was blocking, he was like, this is my chance. He got in there, took the risk, took the grab, took the up throw, and then took the stock. And that's exactly the type of gameplay we expect from Static Manny. You cannot give him an opening. The minute that Scatt put his offense down, Manny said, I'm going to pick it right back up, and took it to him.
Once again, the awareness from Heero coming in so clutch, understanding that during that transition, the ceiling is lower. He opts for an option that will be sending Scatt sky high. Gotta love that usage of the up air there, but it's still anyone's game as Scatt has Heero at 170% and takes the stock with an up air of his own.
Oh, giving Sonic a taste of his own medicine with the rush respawn bait there, putting him into the air, but also attaching him, tagging him a little bit with that projectile so that will explode on delay. I like the escape there, but I don't know why he decided to go up. I guess Manny wasn't prepared for it, didn't have a response to catch him on the juggle. And now, right now, Scatt again trying to take back control of the match. Maybe a tiny, tiny bit flustered to have dropped the stock first when he was up by a solid 80%.
Ooh, back at center stage once again, and nice. I like this. What I'm seeing from Heero more than anything else is that he's recognizing how important it is to really get Scatt into the corner, give him as little room to work with as possible. Because right now, the entire tempo and pacing still feels in Scatt's favor when you're looking at the rest of the set. However, Heero eager to go ahead and make a name of his own. I love the uses of the bair, once again putting Scatt into the corner exactly where he wants him.
Yeah, and you know, one thing we actually didn't even mention at all is Heero counterpicked here to Delfino. And so far, this counterpick paying off, because at the beginning of the game, I was just thinking to myself, wow, you know, Scatt is doing an amazing job of controlling the Delfino spacing and really stopping Manny from really getting too much done. But now Heero's showing, you know what? I'm going to utilize Delfino exactly the way I plan to. It doesn't matter if I'm getting zoned forever. I only need 1 or 2 reads to just eliminate a stock. Oh! There it is right there. So despite the fact that Heero was down by 80% in the first stock, he managed to come, take that first stock, and then completely control the second stock to come with a low percent victory over Scatt in a game that looked like it was leaning heavily in Scatt's favor. Excellent adaptation coming out from him.
I just love that forward smash so much. He was just outside of the range where some of Mega Man's quicker tilts would not hit him, but he could still capitalize, use the wind back, and then push forward and ensure that he could still slam Scatt for any unnecessary aggression.
Yeah.
Gotta love it. Going off to the next game, and it looks like Scatt's gonna be playing with Battlefield this time around.
Yeah, and I really like the way that Heero is also making him afraid to use his shield, because most players lock themselves up in shield against Sonic Spin Dash and give him the liberty to roll around because it's very difficult to react to and properly time any approach or repel of Spin Dash. Of course, Mega Man's Buster does allow him to do exactly that, but Manny's reminding him, hey, listen, you want to utilize that shield, you're going to have to pay for it. You're going to give me room to approach. So first, he punishes him for shielding by getting a KO out of a throw, and then he punishes him for not shielding by setting up a trap with the forward smash. So great mix-ups coming out from Manny and great adaptation to figure out ways to get around Scatt's gameplay.
That was the most interesting saw blade. I love the way that he dipped down and still threw it up. Just another hitbox for Heero to somehow contend with. It's going to be a really big deal for Heero, I guess, to figure out ways to around this projectile pressure, because it still feels like Scatt's done a great job of establishing it throughout this set.
I love the way that Scatt understands the way he can recover with Mega Man's up B and then use the double jump after to keep himself with very flexible options. Right now, he's in a very tight spot, drops from the ledge, losing his invincibility, gets hit by that forward smash. Is he going to get hit by the spring? He's still not going to make it back.
You know, I like the idea, getting hit by the spring to go ahead and renew the recovery, but it just wasn't enough, like you pointed out, Pierce. And I think a big point is also with the pellets itself. He's playing it close to face, which is what he wants to do, but I feel at points it's almost too close, to the point where Heero's able to react and go ahead and punish if his shield game is on point.
Yeah, and again, you want to be looking for those power shields right now, but it's going to be very difficult, especially when you know that you got a 3-hit string coming in right there. It is possible to do. A little bit of a power shield right there, but a rollback. Now finally, Manny's looking to finally take out Scatt's last stock. He is on his tournament stock right now, and Manny has the pressure on. We get a roll in onto the pellets, and now we see the shield coming out from Scatt. That is exactly what I was talking about before. As far as Scatt is controlling the match with his pellets and with that Buster, it's going to put Manny on the ropes. But as long as Manny's going to find openings with the shield, it's really going to affect the way that he's able to approach. And once Manny's going to get in, he's going to stay in, and he's putting a lot of pressure and devastating it right now.
I like it. He's got him off of the stage. Probably going to be looking for one of those back airs. Instead, opts for the up air. There's the back air that we were waiting for. It's still not enough. Heero retaining this stock. No option of the hard knuckle there. Interesting. I guess because he was on the ledge, he didn't want to maybe risk his invulnerability and go ahead and put himself in a potentially rough position.
I like the grab right there. Very savvy pivot grab, making sure, and again, catching with the back air read. Scatt's reads are just so on point this set, keeping himself in the game, trying to keep himself in this tournament. Only 28% to make up, and he's trying to exude some pressure. I like the fact that he's using Battlefield's platforms to continue taking pressure against Sonic and trying to really mitigate the ways that Sonic has to really trap him into an early KO.
It's all about keeping him in the air. I think that that's where Scatt has really had the most success, is anytime he can force Heero into an option where he has to be airborne. We've seen those bears come out so many times for so much damage, and maybe we might see another opportunity. That saw blade so close to clipping, but at least Scatt is able to go ahead and get that forward air. Heero still retaining some nice stage control here, playing so slippery. Once again, right back to center stage.
Yeah, and again, you know, it's exactly what you said. Keeping them airborne, keeping them trapped with the platform pressure. Oh my gosh. That was so cute. I'm not even sure if he meant to hit the spring, but that he improvised and he followed up in a beautiful way. Fortunately, Manny was on his stuff right there, making sure that he was going to get out of that situation. That forward smash was terrifying.
Yeah, it was so scary, so scary. But fortunately for Scatt, that pellet came out just in time to bail him out. Nothing there to bail him out right after that back air, though. Heero once again has him pinned towards the ledge. How is Scatt going to be getting out of this?
Super important moment right now. Scatt is nearing kill percentages, but has taken stage control here. Heero manages to get himself back on the stage with the spin dash, but Scatt's regaining the pressure, putting himself with the pellets, making sure that he can get himself in control. Sonic looking for his approach, tries to find the forward smash right there, not going to be successful. Scatt making sure to make sure to mix up the pellets and the shield, keeping himself safe while applying the pressure, but Heero is really hungry for it right now.
He's definitely hungry for it, and we've seen that sometimes he's been going for a lot of these F smashes. He's been really on point, just barely outspacing some of Scatt's options, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's what he's trying to set up for now. Scatt kind of privy to this, using a lot more less committal options, trying to get that damage as much as he can before he's trying to go for something like a back air.
And now, all tournament, I've been talking about defense. And let me just talk about how great Heero's defense is. I'm seeing power shield after power shield after power shield, and that's exactly what you need to fight a projectile-based character and a zoning-based character like this. The percents are within 8% of each other. We're seeing, oh my gosh, man, he finally gets an opening, and we've seen Scatt struggle on the ledge. Evades to grab, sets up the pellets. He's got potential KO right here. We've got him in the edge, and up air, and that's the game.
We're going to game 5.
We're going to game 5.
Absolutely wonderful, and it all came back to that central theme. Scatt was able to put on just enough damage to the point where that upper was going to be once again KOing Heero right off the top. Game number 5, great adaptation from both of these players, and this is only the first set of the afternoon.
Set, bro.
Are you kidding me?
Let me talk about Scatt for a little bit right now. This man, I have not seen him on a big stage like this ever before. Do you know any noticeable placings he's had before this tournament?
Second place at Smash and Splash.
Oh, okay.
That's a big one. That was a
big
really
one.
big tournament.
All right, so he's definitely been making waves. However, still
Smash and Splash. That's good. Yeah. Continue, Pierce. Please continue.
but you know, he's definitely newer to the top player club, so to speak. You know, he doesn't have years of top placings like some of the players. He's earned his notoriety in Smash 4. You know, and you know, being one of the players that's a veteran to the stage, I have to say, the way he's working now under this pressure is incredible because he's not choking, he's keeping his control, making sure he's constantly adapting, making sure he's mixing up his gameplay, and making sure to keep just the right blend of offense and defense when he needs it to keep himself in the game. We're seeing game 5 here on Castle Siege, and Scatt's in control.
I love the way that he made Manny's shield right there. Using those pellets, forcing out that shield, and right when he saw it, he got that easy grab. 2% difference right now. Scatt maintaining a slight lead, but you know that Heero is eager to go ahead and close this game out. You mentioned that Scatt has to go ahead and earn his place, and if he's going to be earning this win, he has to do so right here on Castle Siege. Heero's counter pick.
Yeah, so Heero's counter pick being Castle Siege. I'm not too sure about that one. I guess he wants to evade the vertical traps because, as you mentioned before, Scatt is doing an excellent job of pressuring from above. You would think that Mega Man's a horizontal zoning character because he's using the Buster Shot extremely well, but you can also see that he's got the Metal Blade and he's got the Whirlwind in a way that's going to allow him to really set up quite lethal vertical traps. He's actually got 2 vertical KOs in the last game.
And not only that, I think the slight slant that's actually in the first transformation allows him to evade most of the pellets, seeing as, like you mentioned before, Pierce, they're entirely horizontal. So really intelligent counterplay right here from Heero, from a stage selection. But how is he going to go ahead and maybe make up the distance? He already has Scatt in the air. Not too much of a juggle there. Once again, doesn't want to overextend. Understands that Mega Man has so many great projectiles that can cover below him so nicely.
Now, right now, we have a juggle situation coming in right here. A miss coming up from Heero, but no punishment. There's going to be an escape right there. And Scatt's trapped on the edge. Manny's looking for the cross-up. Second cross-up. Doesn't find himself the forward smash.
He's getting so eager with some of these F smashes, and we can already see some of the damage continuing to be piled up by Scatt. Now he's not playing so aggressive. He's kind of playing a little bit in a more reactive sort of style rather than a proactive way. Instead of trying to create opportunities for himself, he really wants to let them come to him, trying to utilize the little bit of stage presence that he has, giving up some of it in favor of some damage. But he's backed into the corner once again, and look at how hungry Heero is.
I wanted to see that up tilt poke so much because I wanted him to just remind Mega Man, hey, I can apply pressure here. This is a terrifying situation. These guys are fighting it out in the air. What's going on?
That trade, that last trade, I think the back airs may have collided, and it was just enough to the point where they both had just a touch of knockback. Not too much, though. Very close final game here in Losers. Gets the grab. Back throw is not going to be enough to KO. Throwing out that saw blade, cutting off options.
So
and
cute with the rush coverage.
Straight down with that forward air. I gotta love it. A back throw, and that's gonna be stock 1. Scatt, 71%. Can Heero bring this back?
Yeah, and now, before we saw Scatt on tournament point in Delfino, and now it's Heero on tournament point here at Castle Siege. This is it. He's got 1 stock left to make the magic happen. 3 minutes and 14 seconds left on the clock, and Mega Man only at 79%, not anywhere in the realm of a KO for Sonic.
Heero on that stock of champions like you mentioned before. Let's see if he's eaten his Wheaties, eager to go ahead and close out the stock, putting out that bear, and I love the spring. The tech was impressive as well, but that spring right there just to cut off the options. There's a back throw, nearly getting a stock. Those nerfs definitely costing Heero right now.
Yeah, not enough rage to really convert that. These two, once again, fighting in the air. They love using springs to bounce around. Definitely making sure to get that good flight mileage.
You gotta love it, those frequent flyer miles. But looking back at the match, I feel like Scatt's the one who's really established the aerial game. So if he can maybe keep Heero here, he can maybe go ahead and pile on some more percentage and finish strong with one of those backers. But Heero, eager to get up some aerial traps of his own, almost snagged that second up air, unable to connect.
Yeah, you can definitely see he's getting a little bit nervous with that up air because he actually fast fell with inappropriate timing. He actually had a huge opportunity to end the stock there. I like this transformation for Heero because it limits the pellets, but Heero's got to find himself a KO, and now he's rushing in. Gets a homing attack. That's going to put Mega Man off stage. We've seen the weakness of this recovery. Gets himself back, no invincibility, and then uses the metal blade to reverse the situation. Now Heero in a very dangerous situation.
Scatt is so close to going ahead and taking this set for himself, going ahead and breaking into that upper echelon here at this tournament. Let's see if he can maybe do it. Heero, he can still bring this back. He can definitely do this, but he has to get over some of the gripes, some of the things that have been addling him this entire set. The fact that he's been unable to KO has hurt him, and then up tilt is gonna do it. We have a Mega Man in top 8.
Mega Man in top 8, and the hardest of reads, looking like Rio out there.